To understand ratios, you just need to understand this simple story. Gaurav and Jay used to receive chocolates from a mysterious magic hand every day. But the magic hand was a little biased towards Jay. Every time it gave 2 chocolates to Gaurav, it gave 3 to Jay, 2 to Gaurav and 3 to Jay. Nobody knew why. Of course, Jay did not complain. So the ratio of the number of chocolates Gaurav got to the number of chocolates Jay got is written as 2:3 or 2 divided by 3. This can be read as 2:3. We are basically comparing the number of chocolates Gaurav got to the number of chocolates Jay got. This went on for quite a few days. So every time the magic hand gave 2 chocolates to Gaurav, it gave 3 chocolates to Jay. Now let's count the total number of chocolates each of them have. Gaurav has 4 and Jay has 6. The ratio now becomes 4/6. The magic hand again gives Gaurav 2 chocolates and Jay 3 chocolates. Now the total number of chocolates with Gaurav is 6 and the total number of chocolates with Jay is 9. So the ratio becomes 6/9. Both these ratios, when simplified, will give us 2/3. In every case, the ratio has remained the same. What does this mean? If we multiply 2 with 2 and 3 also with 2, we get 4/6. If we multiply 2 with 3 and 3 with 3, we will get 6/9. And similarly, if you multiply 2 with 4 and 3 with 4, we will get 8/12, which is again equivalent to 2/3. So all the 3 ratios are equal to 2/3. What does all this mean? It means that if the ratio of 2 quantities is 2/3, then the quantities will be multiples of 2 and multiples of 3 respectively, and not necessarily just 2 and 3. A few students have this confusion that the ratio of 2/3 will mean Gaurav has just 2 chocolates and Jay just 3 chocolates. If the ratio is 2/3, then the quantities will be in the form of 2x and 3x, where 2x and 3x are multiples of 2 and 3. So ratio is basically a comparison of quantities. But there is a bit more to comparison of quantities. We see that next. There are 2 main types of ratios. To understand the types, look at this pond which has 2 kinds of fish, the red fish and the blue fish. There are 14 fish in total, 10 red ones and 4 blue ones. Let's write it down here. 10 red fish and 4 blue fish. Let us find one ratio first, the ratio of the red fish to the blue fish. Since there are 10 red fish and 4 blue fish, the ratio will be 10/4. 2 times 5 gives us 10 and 2 times 2 gives us 4. Hence, this ratio in the lowest terms is 5/2. The ratio can also be written as 5:2. What is the ratio of the blue fish to the red fish? It is 4/10, 4 blue fish and 10 red fish. This can be reduced to 2/5 and the ratio is written as 2:5. Look at the ratios carefully. We're comparing a part to a part. Such kind of ratios are called part-to-part ratios. Then what are the other kinds of ratios called? The other kind of ratios are called part-to-whole ratios. An example would be the ratio of the number of red fish to all the fish in the pond. The number of red fish is 10 and the total number of fish is 14. Hence, it equals 10/14. The ratio in the lowest form can be written as 5/7 and the ratio is written as 5:7. Similarly, the ratio of the blue fish to all fish is 4/14, which gives us 2/7. The ratio is 2:7. So in these examples, we compared a part to the whole, red to all and blue to all. In the part to part type, we compared red to blue or blue to red. The ratio of the number of chocolates Gaurav received to the number of chocolates Jay received is 2:3, and that can also be written as 2/3. We have seen that 2/3 can be written in different ways. We can multiply the numerator as well as the denominator by 2 and get 4/6. Or we can also multiply the numerator and the denominator by 3 to get 6/9. All these three ratios have the same value. If we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same value, the ratio remains unchanged. Even if we divide the numerator and the denominator by the same value, the ratio remains unchanged. Let's consider the ratio 12/18. We can divide the numerator as well as the denominator by 6. The numerator will be 12/6 and the denominator will be 18/6. 12/6 is 2 and 18/6 is 3. 12/18 and 2/3 are the same. 2/3 is called the simplest form. It means this cannot be reduced further. But how did we know what number we are supposed to divide them by? The number 6 is actually the highest common factor of the numerator and the denominator. If we divide the numerator as well as the denominator by their HCF, we get the simplest form. Say we have the ratio 30/50. Let's assume that we do not know what their HCF is. If we do not know what the HCF is, all we need to do is look for the common factors of the numerator and the denominator. 30 and 50 are both divisible by 2. So we divide the numerator as well as the denominator by 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15 and 50 divided by 2 is 25. If there are no common factors of the numerator and the denominator, it leaves us with the answer in the standard form. But 15 and 25 both have 5 as their common factor, which tells us that this is not the simplest form. We divide the numerator as well as the denominator by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3 and 25 divided by 5 is 5. The numbers 3 and 5 do not have any common factors apart from 1. So this is the standard form of the ratio 30/50. The product of all the numbers which we divided the numerators and the denominators by will be their HCF. Here, 2 times 5, which equals 10, is the HCF of 30 and 50. I would recommend you to first find the HCF and then divide the numerator and the denominator by just once instead of performing division several times. Here's our first problem. 20 such pens cost 400 rupees. So how much does one pen cost? Don't worry, it is not difficult. To find the cost of one pen, we divide the total cost by 20. So the cost of one pen is equal to 400 by 20, which equals 20 rupees. So one pen costs 20 rupees. So this problem was very simple. If we are given the total cost of many items, we divide the total cost by the number of items to find the cost of one item. Here's the next problem. 20 pens cost 400 rupees. Find the cost of 30 such pens. If you think the previous problem was easy, this one should also seem easy. But that is not always the case. When students see that they have to find the cost of 30 pens, they tend to get confused. We found out the cost of one pen to be 400 by 20, which is 20 rupees. So think about it. You have the cost of one pen. What will be the cost of 30 pens? It's simple. It will be 30 multiplied by the cost of one pen. So cost of 30 pens is 30 multiplied by 20 rupees, which equals 600 rupees. It was as simple as that. So 30 pens cost 600 rupees. Let's analyze what we just did. We were given the cost of a set of pens, and we were asked to find the cost of another set of pens. Here, we are given the total cost of 20 pens. We have been asked to find the cost of 30 pens. To find the total cost of 30 pens, we first found out the cost of one pen using this information. And then we found the cost of 30 pens by multiplying the cost of one pen with 30. This method of finding the cost of one unit first and then multiplying by the number of units to find the total cost is called the unitary method. Remember, cost of one unit first and then the total cost accordingly. There is another interesting way in which we can look at it. The question says that 20 pens cost 400 rupees. So how much do 30 pens cost? Cost of 30 pens is given as 400 multiplied by 30 divided by 20. Wow, we used just one step. We just multiplied these two terms and divided this product by this term. There are two ways in which you can understand this. First, we're actually dividing 400 by 20 to get the cost of one unit and directly multiplying this by 30 to find the total cost of 30 units. So what we did using two steps previously is done in one step here. This gives us the cost of one unit, and its product with 30 gives us the total cost of 30 units. Second, 400 by 20 will always equal total cost of 30 pens by 30. This is obvious since each ratio is equal to the cost of one pen. As this is proportion, product of extremes should equal the product of means. So 400 multiplied by 30 should equal 20 multiplied by cost of 30 pens. And then we transpose 20 to the other side to get the cost of 30 pens. Anyway, this was just for your better understanding. So 20 multiplied by 20 is 400 and 20 multiplied by 30 is 600 rupees. Both methods are essentially the same. It's just that we have solved this one in one step instead of two. This is also called the unitary method. So if we have to generalize it, we can say that if A items cost rupees B, then C items will cost B by A multiplied by C. B by A is the cost of one item and C is the total number of items.